From 35 civil lines Moradabad to Sonia Gandhi's 10 Janpath. The rise and rise of a humble small town boy to the six-pack abs cover boy. This is the tale of Robert Vadra, how he stole the heart of the Gandhi heiress, reinvented himself and was rewarded with fame, glory and now disgrace. Headlines today travels through the narrow lanes of Moradabad, cluttered with small brass factories. For this is where it all began.
We begin this news presentation from Moradabad in Uttar Pradesh, where we will trace our journey from right here, 35 civil lines Moradabad to 10 Janpath. And over the course of this half hour, we will tell you all that there is to know about the husband of the Gandhi Nehru scion, Priyanka Gandhi, and the man today who is in the eye of a raging storm, Robert Vadra. Well, if there ever is such a thing, then Robert Vadra is a man of destiny. What else can explain the connect between a humble brass trader from Moradabad and India's most powerful political family?
This is where Robert Vadra spent his childhood, Koti number 35 in Moradabad's posh civil lines area. For about the first 10 years of his life, Robert and his family had lived on in Moradabad.
क्लास 5 तक पढ़ते थे, व्यवहार बहुत अच्छा था, आपस में अच्छे, बस ये है कि नेबर थे, खेलना ही था, बाकी 5th के बाद तो उसके बाद हमें पता ही नहीं, उसके बाद हमारी मुलाकात कभी नहीं हुई.
Vadra's family ran a brass and utensils business in the city. After he did his class 5, the Vadra family sent Robert to Delhi for studies. He was admitted to the British school in the capital.
It was at Delhi's British school where Robert Vadra met Priyanka Gandhi. Even though Priyanka was 3 years his junior, both met at a common friends party, and that is when their friendship began.
But it was not just studies that kept Robert interested in Delhi. Since childhood, Vadra had been fascinated by Western music and dance. Going to parties was another of his interests, and it was this interest that paved his path towards 10 Janpath. After school, Priyanka joined Jesus and Mary College to study psychology, but even being in different colleges couldn't separate Robert and Priyanka. Both of them had realized by then that they were in love with each other. Their relationship blossomed despite the mammoth differences in their family status. Priyanka and Robert used to meet at discotheques. Robert and Priyanka must have told their families about their relationship, but it became public only on the 18th of February 1997, the day they got married at 10 Janpath.
His friends, call him a puppy, which is a Punjabi, upwardly mobile young businessman from Delhi with those typical attributes. So it was always a surprise to people that, somebody whose family is based in Moradabad, in the brass business, has nothing to do with politics, would suddenly find, an association with the family. So probably that's what surprised people, and there was nothing remarkable about him because he's almost as tall as Priyanka. He's fairly okay looking, but there was no. I mean, one would have expected. The Gandhis are supposedly the royalty of Indian politics, so perhaps people expected more from Priyanka's groom.
Getting married to Priyanka Gandhi was a fairy tale moment for Robert Vadra. Not attended by too many politicians or bigwigs, surprisingly, the wedding at 10 Janpath was a simple affair. But this simple wedding had huge ramifications.
It was in February this year the political ambitions of the Gandhi family's son-in-law, Robert Vadra, came into the public eye. His bike rally in Amethi was ostensibly to campaign for his brother-in-law, Rahul Gandhi. But it was a passing comment of his that made everybody sit and strain their ears. Speculations became rife about Vadra entering the political arena.
The way I look at it, things are that, if it wasn't for this family, then why politics? I'm a businessman, I'm involved in my business. But yes, everything that I do, I put my heart and soul into. So I would come here, and if I were to partake in politics, it would only be if I could make a difference for the people, and if I could dedicate my time and effort completely here, I'm not here for a post. I would be here to make a change.
But that was a few months ago, and since then a lot has been said, speculated and argued over the 42-year-old businessman's political acumen, or rather potency, to join the polity. And why not? Some would say 14 years, the time he's been married to Priyanka Gandhi, is a long time to watch from the sidelines, especially when Robert Vadra is the only person to have married into the family and has not gotten involved in politics.
Again, he actually made a case for his ambition, but I think by late evening they'd already been shot down by his wife, who very clearly said that Robert Vadra is a successful businessman, and let's keep it at that. So, which means his political aspiration or ambition, whichever way you want to look at it, was scuttled there and then.
Even though his wife Priyanka Gandhi Vadra went on to refute speculations, the fact is, this was not the first time that indications came from Vadra about his future plans. Back in 2010, Vadra had made the headlines by saying that he would join politics only when he felt he could make a difference. At that time, he'd revealed that he was under pressure in the 2009 Lok Sabha elections to contest from Sultanpur in Uttar Pradesh, an offer that he'd refused.
The fact is that if you're Robert Vadra, you're special. And if you go to any airport in India, you see his name on the list of people who don't go through security checks. That makes him a very special son-in-law.
Always, in politics, there's this question which is asked: when is Priyanka going to join politics? So that is something, in this family, they would rather that, the answer be reserved for those immediate three members of the family, Sonia, Rahul and Priyanka, rather than someone else answer it. And he did go forward and say that, this is not Priyanka's time, this is Rahul's time, Priyanka's time will come. So obviously there was embarrassment in the family.
Allegations of taking advantage of his in-laws' family name and being buffered and protected by the Congress party might not have gone down well with Robert Vadra. But the fact is that his business exponentially grew post-marriage, and now Mr. Vadra finds little room to defend himself.
The year 1997, the world watched in awe as an obscure, average-looking young man from small-town Uttar Pradesh came and married the political heiress of the country. For many years, Robert Vadra played the part of an unremarkable husband who walked in the shadows of the Gandhi name, but something changed a few years back. Robert Vadra reinvented himself, groomed, fitted 40, a cynosure of all eyes and the muse for many designers.
Robert Vadra comes from a business family. He knows a good deal when he sees one, fact borne out by his success in big business. Though the scale may not have been the same, but the Vadra family's business acumen traces back to undivided Punjab in pre-partition India. Robert Vadra's grandfather, Hukumat Rai Vadera, was a merchant in Sialkot, dealing in sports equipment. After partition, he moved to Bangalore, and in 1954, he shifted to Moradabad. In Moradabad, he manufactured brass utensils and decorative goods. Robert's father, Rajendra Vadra, bought a house in Delhi's New Friends Colony, where Robert lived as a student in Delhi. The tough times for Vadra family began after the death of Robert's grandfather, Hukumat Rai. The family business had to be split between Rajendra Vadra and his elder brother, Om Prakash Vadra, and soon the original firm dealing in brass had to be shut down. Robert Vadra went into business with his father and later branched out on his own.
Robert Vadra's business origins can be traced right through these bylanes of Moradabad, cluttered with small brass factories. But today, the wealth that he has amassed is felt by many is rather disproportionate to the efforts that he has put in. But all these allegations, all these speculations stem from the fact that he is the Gandhi son-in-law. Till now, these are just allegations, as nothing has been proven just yet.
He's grown from capital of just 50 lakhs to 500 crores or something in that neighborhood, which is phenomenal by any global standards. He has got what he claims are business advances from DLF, for example. Not just from DLF, from a couple of other companies. And If I went to DLF and said, I'm interested in real estate business and I would like to, you to give me 65 crores, I don't think that's going to work. It might work if I've got a famous mother-in-law.
Robert's business empire has been a matter of public scrutiny. A website called CelebrityNetWorth.com had claimed that Robert Vadra's worth is over 10,920 crore.
Robert Vadra comes from a business family, so they obviously have a business enterprise and a background of something like that. Now, whether he has benefited because of the fact that he is the son-in-law of the first family is again something that one can only conjecture about. And I don't think in a case like this it would be valid to conjecture or speculate.
And now Arvind Kejriwal and his associates are targeting Vadra.
रॉबर्ट वडेरा जी ने 2007 से 2010 के बीच में 3 सालों के अंदर केवल 50 लाख रुपए से 300 करोड़ रुपए की प्रॉपर्टीज खरीदी हैं.
There's land in Bikaner, there's land in Haryana, there's land in Delhi, there are properties. Now, some of those properties can be explained because DLF has put out a clarification saying that a loan was given to him. But for most part, I can't understand how, for instance, 161 acres of agricultural land is shown as fixed asset under one of his companies. The value is 1 crore. 161 acres, 1 crore in Bikaner seems a little odd.
DLF has denied the allegations, but this is not the only charge Vadra faces. And the Congress party has gone out of its way to deny any and all of the allegations levelled against Vadra. But the Kejriwal expose and its subsequent publicity has thrown some serious questions on how Sonia Gandhi's son-in-law amassed such wealth and what was the product that he was trading for profit.
The shift from Moradabad, Uttar Pradesh to Delhi to right here at 162 New Friends Colony proved to be very fatal for the Vadra family. While Robert's life took a very different turn when he married the proverbial princess of politics, for the rest of Vadra's fate had ominous plans.
A notice in the newspapers in 2002 was the crack that split Robert Vadra's family. A fissure that had been created years earlier grew larger as tragedy after tragedy struck the Vadra clan.
I have nothing to do with my father Rajendra and my brother Richard, and that any attempts by them to gain favors by pretending to act on my behalf should be disregarded.
With these words, Robert Vadra clearly chose his wife's powerful family over his own. The Gandhi son-in-law in 2002 placed ads in newspapers accusing his own father Rajendra and his brother Richard of duping people using Sonia Gandhi's name. Robert Vadra alleged that Rajendra and Robert were promising to get people jobs at the Uttar Pradesh Congress Committee without Sonia Gandhi's consent.
It is one of the dramatic changes that could have happened in fortunes for a family or a person. That's what happened to Robert Vadra. It was like marrying a proverbial princess. Robert Vadra married Priyanka Gandhi, the great heiress of political name. But strange things happened to Robert before and after his marriage to Priyanka in 1997.
Barely 4 years after his marriage to Priyanka, Robert lost his sister Michelle to a road accident on the Jaipur-Delhi highway in April 2001. 2 years later, and exactly a year after being publicly disowned by his brother, Richard Vadra reportedly committed suicide in his Moradabad residence.
Allegations, associations aside, the fact is that Robert Vadra has not had an easy life. At one point of time, Mr. Vadra had a very difficult choice to make. To choose for what he stood for all the years before he met Priyanka Gandhi, or to choose for what he was now, a Gandhi by association. Robert Vadra did what he felt right, drawing a wedge through the Vadra family, splitting it for good. However, unfortunately, that was just the beginning of a spiral of tragedy that struck the Vadra clan, a pit stop on that spiral. Right here where Richard Vadra committed suicide in the year 2003, 1 year after he was disowned by his brother.
Though Richard's funeral was attended by the entire Gandhi family, no apparent effort was made by Robert's father to make amends. In April 2009, tragedy struck the family again. Robert's father, Rajendra, was found dead under mysterious circumstances in a Delhi guest house. Accidents, mysterious deaths. It seems that the Vadras have had to face one tragedy after another ever since Robert married into the Gandhi family. As of now, there is only Robert's mother, Maureen, from the Vadra family, who Robert still has living with him. She completes the Gandhi Vadra family of Priyanka, Robert, and their 2 children.
Gone is even the shadow of that shy man wearing boxy suits weighing 84 kilos in. Is a very dapper, very confident Mr. Vadra, always dressed in designer clothes, weighing 66 kilos with washboard abs. Mr. Vadra has often admitted that his wife thinks him vain, but for him now, fitness is a religion.
Robert Vadra likes to dress up hip. His lean, mean look is crafted to inspire confidence, to make people look upon him as a man with a purpose. In photographs, he looks like someone who knows what he wants and wants what he knows he can get.
I don't think he's a vain person, but he's more attuned to glamour than the rest of the Gandhi family. We must realize that he is not a Gandhi. He is a Vadra, and he is someone who has been introduced to this limelight and this celebrityhood far later on in life.
Robert Vadra first bared his body for public inspection 3 years ago. Businessman Robert Vadra, son-in-law of the first family of Indian politics and husband of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, bared his rippling six-pack abs for an exclusive interview and shoot in the August 2009 issue of Men's Health magazine. Talking about how he went from 36-inch waist to 29 inches in just 2 years, Vadra had said, "It's because I place fitness very high on my list that I have time to devote to it every day," he had been quoted as saying.
Vadra has been known to say that his wife Priyanka thinks he's vain. But then Robert Vadra did shed 20 kilos to don that mean look. In 2009, he went from a hunky 84 kgs to a trim 66. And he also confessed that it wasn't his wife Priyanka who pushed him to become fit, but his sister who made him join a gym.
Vadra also loves his motorbikes and was happy to pose for Men's Health with his spanking new motorbike, a Suzuki Boulevard.
He comes across as a very friendly guy, and for us at Men's Health, I think he's a great idol because he believes in fitness. He believes in living good life and at the same time living it right. He works out religiously.
And you see this narcissist, who's posing for the camera, taking his own pictures. Every muscle, on his body is shining. He's showing his six-pack abs and all that. So he's really moved from that simple boy that was described in the earlier reports to now what he is.
The Gandhi son-in-law has been investing in building up his image, and from time to time, the extremely fit-looking Vadra is photographed playing golf, or riding a bicycle, or posing with his superbike. But the most common photo opportunity catches him looking fit and strong as he walks along beside his wife. His connect to the Gandhi name and prestige.
Today, Robert Vadra is facing grave allegations, which the Congress insists are personal matters of a private individual. But since 1947, history stands testimony to the fact that there has been little that has been private about the Gandhis, especially if it taints the much revered surname. The country today is looking at Robert to come up with an explanation, to come up with answers. And he has to. Not as a Vadra, but as a Gandhi, even though it's through association.